New York City. The city of bright lights, towering skyscrapers, endless traffic, and millions of people rushing every single day. On the surface, it looks like a place that never sleeps. But beneath the streets lies another world. A hidden, silent world most people never see. Deep under Manhattan, under Brooklyn, under the bridges and parks, are tunnels. Some known, some forgotten, and some so secret that even city maps refuse to show them. Imagine walking through Times Square while 30 feet below you, there's a dark passageway stretching for miles. Imagine trains that once carried passengers but were abandoned decades ago, left to rot in the dark. Imagine rumors of hidden vaults, mafia smuggling routes, or even government tunnels used during the Cold War. Are they myths? Are they real? And why have so many stories about New York's underground remained hidden for over a century? Today, we're going to explore one of the city's greatest mysteries, the secret tunnels beneath New York City. Stay with me until the end, because some of what you're about to hear will change the way you look at New York forever. To understand the tunnels of New York, we need to go back more than 100 years. By the late 1800s, New York City was exploding in size. Millions of immigrants were arriving. Streets were clogged with carriages, carts, and eventually cars. The city desperately needed a better way to move people. In 1904, the first official New York subway line opened. It was a marvel of its time, modern, fast, and built deep under the city's foundations. But with that construction came countless side tunnels, test shafts, and half-finished passages that were simply left behind. Engineers would dig experimental routes, sometimes abandoning them when funding ran out. Other tunnels were used temporarily for water, electricity, or mail delivery, and some were simply forgotten once the subway expanded in another direction. One famous example is the City Hall Station. Built in 1904, it was one of the most beautiful subway stations in the world, arched ceilings, chandeliers, and stunning tiles. But by 1945, it was closed because newer trains were too long to fit the curved platform. The tunnel remained hidden for decades, only visited by city workers and the occasional explorer. But City Hall Station is just the beginning. The deeper story is that every expansion of the subway system created hidden byproducts, abandoned platforms, sealed-off staircases, and tunnels that lead to nowhere. Some of these tunnels became urban legends. Were they escape routes for politicians, secret passageways for the military, or just mistakes in construction? As New York grew, so did its underground secrets. Beneath the Brooklyn Bridge lies a series of hidden vaults. During Prohibition in the 1920s, when alcohol was illegal, some of these underground rooms were rumored to store thousands of bottles of fine wine. Wealthy families supposedly kept private collections hidden in the very foundations of the bridge. Another chilling story is the Atlantic Avenue Tunnel in Brooklyn, built in 1844. It's considered the oldest subway tunnel in the world. For decades, it was completely sealed off. Locals whispered that it was haunted, that runaway slaves used it during the Underground Railroad, or that secret trains once ran through it carrying weapons. In 1980, an urban explorer named Bob Diamond rediscovered the tunnel and led public tours. People walked through its massive, dark stone passageways, imagined the ghosts of history all around them. But years later, the city sealed again. To this day, it remains closed to public. Then there are the ghost stations, places like Worth Street Station or the hidden lower levels of 42nd Street, where entire platforms exist but are never used. Some are lit only by the glow of old bulbs, others are covered in graffiti, and many are completely forgotten by the millions of passengers passing just a few feet away. These abandoned tunnels raise a question. If these are the ones we know about, what about the ones we don't? During Prohibition, from 1920 to 1933, alcohol was banned across the United States. But in New York, the party never really stopped. Secret bars called speakeasies flourished across the city. But how did they get their supplies? That's where the tunnels come in. Rumors suggest that mafia gangs, including some of the most powerful crime families in New York, use abandoned subway lines and underground passages to smuggle liquor. Crates of whiskey and wine were moved under the streets, safe from police eyes. In some basement of old buildings in Lower Manhattan, explorers have found bricked-up doors leading into narrow passages. Were these old utility tunnels? or secret mob routes. No one knows for sure. But the connection between organized crime and New York's underground has become legendary. It adds a darker, more dangerous layer to the city's hidden world. The deeper you go into New York's tunnel legends, the stranger the stories become. There are tales of entire underground villages where homeless communities once lived, known as the Mole People. Journalists in the 1990s reported meeting people who had carved out homes in forgotten subway lines, complete with furniture, electricity, even makeshift kitchens. Then there are whispers of government tunnels. Some claim there are secret routes connecting City Hall to police headquarters, or even hidden bunkers built during the Cold War in case of nuclear attack. One particularly persistent rumor says there's a tunnel that runs from the basement of the Waldorf Astoria hotel straight to Grand Central Terminal. It was supposedly used by President Franklin Roosevelt to secretly enter and exit the city without being seen. In fact, there's a hidden train platform, Track 61, under Grand Central that was linked to the hotel. It still exists, sealed off but very real. So when it comes to New York's tunnels, the line between myth and reality often blurs. Today, the hidden tunnels of New York continue to attract urban explorers. Some go down with flashlights and cameras, documenting the forgotten corners of the city. Others break in illegally, risking arrest just to see what lies behind locked gates. Photographs have surfaced online showing abandoned platforms covered in dust, tracks that lead into darkness, and rooms full of old equipment left behind like a time capsule. Even the city itself admits there are tunnels that remain unmapped or poorly documented. In a city this old, with so many layers of construction, it's nearly impossible to know exactly what lies beneath every street. So the next time you walk through New York, remember, beneath your feet may be a forgotten tunnel, a hidden vault, or even a secret passage that hasn't been opened in decades. The city above is alive with noise, but the city below is silent, waiting. And this is only the beginning. Because New York is not the only place in America with hidden tunnels. From Chicago to Los Angeles, there are mysteries buried underground. If you want me to uncover more of these forgotten secrets, subscribe and join me on the next journey into the hidden world beneath our cities.